Think back to all the wars that you learned about in history class. You probably learned about the Revolutionary War, the Civil War, and the World Wars. However, did you learn about the Korean War? I know, at least for me, I did not learn about the Korean War as much as I would have liked. My grandpa fought in the Korean War, and this is what sparked my interest to learn more about this often overlooked moment in history. I hope you too will be as interested as I was to learn about this feud that has been going on between these two countries since the 1950s. In this speech, I will provide the newest information between the dispute going on between North Korea and the United States. I will provide this information and explain the history behind the feud, peace during the Olympics, and the war on words. To begin, let's examine the history behind the current dispute between the United States and North Korea. This dispute has been a long-reigning problem going on in North Korea and the United States. The original cause of this dispute dates back all the way to the collapse of the Japanese Empire after World War II. Having been annexed to Japan since 1910, Korea was left without a government. This led leaders like Kim Il-sung to take power. In an effort to prevent communism, the Soviet Union and the United States split the country in half at the 38th parallel. During conflicts on how to unify the two sides, both sides grew in power and security. With help, North Korea invaded South Korea on June 25th, 1950. This began a 3-year fight that ended with more than 1 million casualties and no peace treaty to date. In order to prevent communism from spreading all across the world, the United States joined with South Korea to fight back against North Korea. Under control of General MacArthur, the U.S. troops drove North Korean troops that swept across all of South Korea back across the 38th parallel. It is no secret that the Korean War was a huge devastation, but North Korea has held a grudge against the United States, who they blame for the war. The fact that America dropped more than 65,000 explosives on North Korea has been a tool that North Korea has used to blame the United States. Anti-American propaganda is still popular in North Korea to promote hate against the United States. North Korea even teaches that America was the first to start the war, which, as I mentioned before, is not true. I mentioned most people are unaware that the original cause behind the dispute of North Korea and the United States, but they are not unaware of the war on words. According to Merriam-Webster, a war on words is an argument between two people, in this case countries, where they fight publicly over a long period of time. The war on words first started when North Korea announced that they had successfully launched an intercontinental missile that was capable of reaching Alaska. 2 months later, Trump stated that he would have to totally destroy North Korea. Kim Jong-un, North Korea's leader, then responded by calling Donald Trump mentally deranged. Other names that have been mentioned in this dispute are Madman, Barking Dog, and Rocket Man. This war on words is full of threats and warnings from both countries. The United States' threats mainly come from Twitter, while North Korea's threats come from state media. If a lot of people knew about the war on words, even more people knew about the Winter Olympics. The 2018 Winter Olympics happened in Pyeongchang, South Korea. A lot of people were skeptical at first because of the closeness that Pyeongchang is from North Korea's border. It did not help these skeptics when North Korea walked with South Korean athletes at the opening ceremonies. People were surprised of these actions because of the relationship between these two countries in the past. This is not new information, however, because the North Korean athletes and the South Korean athletes have walked 9 times at major sporting events like these before. While some were thrilled to see these two countries participate together in a friendly manner, others were not so happy. Some feared that this plan might end in defeat. North Korean athletes appeared to be unprepared and only placing 22nd. In this speech, I provided the newest information between the current dispute of North Korea and the United States. I provided this information by explaining the history behind the feud, peace during the Olympics, and the war on words. Through this speech, I hope you learned about the ongoing conflict between these two countries. I also hope that you learned that there is more to this conflict than just rants on Twitter, but 70 years of history. Thank you.